Hi everyone, welcome to another Antigonish minor hockey video blog. I wanted to put something together today a little different than what we've been doing in the past. We've been doing a lot of skill development stuff, which I think is very important obviously, but I wanted to move into a little bit more on the tactics side. This time of year obviously the games where the results matter the most in terms of big tournaments and playoffs, and could be provincial playdowns and what have you. There's got to be a time where you put all the skill development that you put together into some tactics and some systems and team play. So I wanted to touch on team play today, and more specifically offensive team play. We've got four different aspects that I want to look at. So I've got a little presentation put together for offensive team play, and hopefully that coaches are able to take something away for this that they can bring to their team. And at the end, I've got a few drills for each aspect of offensive team play that they can work on in practice, and hopefully work on building some skill sets and tactics together to bring some offensive team success. Okay, so as you can see here in front of you, we've got a little bit of an outlook on offensive team play. I've got some videos that I can show with each with the presentation. But there's four main aspects which I'll get to, but the one main one that I want to really focus on for offensive team play is skill development. This is a passion of mine, and I really believe that this is the base of all success when it comes to sports and in specific hockey. When trying to bring success to a team offensively, we need to develop individual skills. Before we do any tactics work or system work, skills, a good base and of fundamental skills has to be built. And I always go back to the example of you can't break the puck out effectively when your defenseman can't make a good first pass, or if your forward has trouble receiving a pass on his backhand. So these have to be worked on, individual skills. To gain success offensively for the team. You'll see a quote here, don't put the cart before the horse, and that's exactly right. We want to make sure that we have good skill sets that we can build into tactics, and those tactics then can be built within a framework or a system. I believe that the best defense is a good offense, so maybe I'm just a little more offensive minded as a coach, but I believe that a team that stresses a good offense in terms of puck possession and poise with the puck, they're going to have the puck on their stick more, so they're going to basically be taking the puck off the other team's stick more in terms of time of possession. So I believe that the best defense is a good offense. The more we can attack and have possession, then that means the less time that we're playing defense and that we don't have the puck on their stick. So as a hockey player and as a coach, you want your team to have the puck on your stick as much as possible. So if you can work on different skills and with whether it's confidence and poise with the puck and making good passes and keeping possession, then you should be able to find some offensive success. And I refer back to one of my original video blogs back at the start of the season on skill development, and I showed some clips of some NHL teams in their development camp and rookie camps working on skill development. Simple drills like inside edges all the way down the ice, or stationary stick handling, or stationary partner passing, whatever it may be. These are the best players in the world, and even these players work to master their craft. Okay, it's a job for them, and they want to improve. And if they can improve every day individually, then they should be able to help their team improve. So, like I said before, skill development could be tedious, but it's such an important base to build. So we need to make sure that that's built strongly before we get into any tactics or systems wise. So like I said, I've got four main aspects when it comes to offensive team play, and the first one is transition. Now, there a lot of people think transition only means that it only happens in the neutral zone. Okay, and absolutely that transition happens in the neutral zone, but it can happen anywhere on the ice. And really, by definition, transition is a small area. Okay, the small area of time between defense and offense, and a lot of people also think that transition starts when the puck is back on your stick. It actually starts before the puck is even turned over. Okay, so the biggest aspect of transition is the anticipation. So if you can defend with a mindset to take the puck away from the team, you can anticipate when a turnover is about to happen, and that quickly you can be able to counteract and to bring an attack onto the other team. If you defend and let the team have possession and just hope that they don't score, more times than not, you're probably going to get some good chances against. It may not be a goal, but if you give up good chances just by sitting back and hopefully trying to not let them score, a lot of times you'll get good chances. So if you want to be proactive on defense, you want to dictate where the puck goes, and you want to take away the good options. And that goes into my another video blog I made earlier this season again of angling. So if you can dictate that puck to the bad ice where the chances are low percentage, and protect a good ice in the middle of the ice between the dots where there's high percentage chances, you're being proactive. And this is also going to cause turnovers that you can anticipate and get into position. And I guess it's a little bit of the English major in me. I'm big on literature and trying to relate them to coaching. And this is one of my favorites, where it's you want to be fast in transition. And this quote here is from The Art of War, and it reads as such: "Rapidity is the essence of war. To the soldier, overwhelming speed is of paramount importance, and he must not miss opportunities to take advantage of the enemy's unreadiness and attack unguarded spots." Okay, that's a great quote when it comes to transition, because if you can anticipate that a turnover is going to happen, and you can trust your teammate that a turnover is going to happen, if you can get that puck and attack right away before the other team has a chance to get back and defend, then you should have a pretty good chance of gaining some success offensively. It could be just a rush or a clean breakout, but you've gained success that way by creating that overwhelming speed and attacking before the enemy really had any idea what was going on, and they don't have their guard up in terms of defense. Okay, I've got a couple of videos I want to show you here before I start. These are some videos of St. Louis, and all the clips start with the puck on the other team's stick. Okay, so they're all in defensive zone, and they're making clean exits and breakouts by anticipating a good defensive set and anticipating a turnover and cleanly coming out with good transition. So you'll see in these clips here that the team, basically their opponent, have the puck on their stick, and what they've done is being proactive on defense. They've pressured, they've put them all into the bad ice outside the dots and into the corners, and then they've anticipated and they've brought the puck up with good clean exits and breakouts. So again, as you see these clips, there's not a lot of falling back. There's not a lot of collapsing where they're allowing the other team to maintain possession and just hopefully that they make a mistake or they don't score. They're very proactive. All right, they're being urgent in defense, and what they want to do is get the puck back cleanly and then anticipate. And all those clips ended up with essentially an attack on the other team right away. Okay, so that's a great clip. This clip right here, okay, we talk about transition, and transition in the previous clip was all defensive zone. This is a neutral zone clip, and this clip really hits home the idea of scoring or attacking with speed. So right now you see the puck. That's on Ryan Getzlaf's stick. That's on Anaheim's stick. Remarkably, in about 9 seconds, you're going to see a Chicago Blackhawks player celebrate a goal. So that's how fast they can get possession, be proactive on defense, get the puck back, and attack and score. Okay, so you see here, they've anticipated right away. They've got 3 up in the attack, and they put the puck on Patrick Kane's stick, and he's not going to miss that shot many times. Okay, so you'll see it again. Great turnover anticipation. They pressured it. They pressured Getzlaf into making a rushed play, and as soon as that puck came back, they anticipated it and attacked right away with speed. So if you can create transition by dictating where the puck goes and being proactive and causing turnovers, not falling back, and then trying to attack right away with speed and anticipation, you should be able to find yourself getting some success offensively. Okay, the next aspect that we want to look at for team offensive play is you want to activate your defense. Okay, you don't want your defense to be just the players that are on the blue line or behind the forwards, I guess you could say, that are just trying to prevent goals. If you want to activate your defense and get good offense, you need to play as a five-person unit, and you really need to activate the defense to get up the ice and help attack offensively. First point here is be a pass-first team. What that means is you want your defenseman, your first option to be, when they get the puck on their stick in the defensive zone, is to make a pass. And what that does, it gives clean possession and trying to exit the zone. What we want to discourage for minor hockey players, and really players at any level, is the dump outs or the punts, which is a term I've heard many hockey coaches and guys use, which is a great term. It's a football term. Basically what you're doing is you're giving the puck back to the other team, and then you're right into defensive mode right away. So you don't want to punt the puck, and you don't want to do the no-look rims. When the no-look rims are difficult to get off the wall anyway as a forward, so rims are almost like a last option for most teams. And when you're just rimming the puck and not even sure if anyone's there, what it basically is saying is that you take the puck because I don't want it. So you really want to encourage some confidence and poise with your defense to make a good play with their head up. Don't be afraid to pass to the middle of the ice. Don't be afraid to pass to the front of the net. When you look at a D-zone coverage, and you look at the offensive team in that zone, not many times is the player directly in front of the net. Most of the time it's just the defensive D, maybe halfway to the offensive team's third player high. But a lot of times that's an open pocket where if you can make a clean pass, then you can then cleanly break out the far side. Okay. Also encourage deception and look-offs. And what I mean by that, I'll have some actually video examples of that to show. Deception and look-offs are... it's a great offensive tactic to have, especially, for example, if you're coming in on a goalie. If you know that you want to deke to the backhand to try to score a goal, you want the goalie to bite one way, maybe first fake to your forehand and then take it to your backhand. So that's a deception play and a tactic, and that's no different for a defenseman in the zone as well. What they can do is maybe open the blade, look off a player to the wall, and what that'll do is the forechecker stick might go in that lane to the wall, and then what it does, it slightly opens up the lane to the middle, and that's all you need is maybe a 1 to 2 foot lane to get that pass to the middle. So the deception and look-off skills are great to work on for any defenseman that want to make that pass. We go back to dump outs and the rims, those punting the puck. That might be the safe play in terms of, yes, you're not getting a goal scored or a chance on you immediately, but I'm a big believer in that maybe that play will come back to haunt you, because what you've done is you've given it back to them. They've got a chance to regroup and come back on the attack again. And it might not score within the next 10 seconds, but maybe in the next 40, 45 seconds, and it all started by making that safe play. So you really want to let the player be creative and make strong plays. You don't want to say make the safe play and put it off the glass. I don't think you're coaching the player to improve when you're telling minor hockey players to just put it off the glass. I think there is a time and place, don't get me wrong, but I think that if that it's not the first option. You want to be a pass first team, so you don't want to be just putting it off the glass. So, and that goes back to my belief that it's more about the process than the result in minor hockey, and if you can make the players develop into players that make good first passes and good reads instead of just putting it off the glass, I think you're doing your job as a coach for sure. Going back to this example in defensive zone, the net front D in our defensive zone will often be able to get up ice before the low forward in defensive zone coverage. So if there's centerman, let's say, or the first forward back is playing low with the strong side defense, and the puck goes up the wall or to the middle, instead of letting those two forwards go up onto a 2-on-2, turn it into a 3-on-2. And so that net front defenseman can get up. So oftentimes they won't be tied up like the center. They'll be in a higher position so they can get up ice quicker. So basically you want to turn those 2-on-2s into 3-on-2s. And even 3-on-2 cleans, if you can get up and make it a 4-on-2, they're very difficult to defend. If you get a 4-on-3, a team with a good high forward, a good F3, that rarely has odd man chances against them, they protect the middle of the ice well, and they basically have 3-on-3s coming through the neutral zone. If we can get up and make that into a 4-on-3, then we've created an odd man situation that gives us the advantage slightly to make an attack onto our entries. Okay, but a couple of videos here I want to show you on defensive activation. Yeah, you'll see this here. We talked about this deception and look-offs. The puck is dumped into the corner for Tampa Bay. I'll let it run first. Okay, you see how that's just a clean breakout. Now they're up the ice. That was dumped in maybe 4 or 5 seconds ago, and they're already up the ice. And it all started with one play. You'll see 75 defenseman. Okay, he's faking that he's got to wind up and he's going to rim it to this side. What that does, it turns this forechecker's feet ever so slightly into this angle. Okay, and it gets him out of the angle to the wall. And eventually he makes that pass to the wall, and this guy's caught. Okay, so now they make another good pass through the middle. They've activated, and it all started by that defenseman having his stick up like he was going to fake rim it this way, and that forechecker changes his angle about maybe 6 to 8 inches, maybe a foot, and that's really all you need to get enough space to make that pass to the wall. So that's a great example of a deception in the look-off, and you can see they're already on the attack. The next video right here, the clip, you'll see that it's a look-off to the wall, as I talked about earlier. The defensemen go back. They make a great reverse play, and they're coming up the middle of the ice. Okay, the defenseman has the puck on his stick now, and he sees that this forward, he's going to make him make a decision. As you can see by the defenseman, he looks off the wall ever so slightly to keep that forechecker's stick in this side, and it keeps the lane open through the middle. Okay, and by making that one little look off to the wall, okay, we've generated a 3-on-2 attack coming through the middle of the ice. Okay, that's difficult to defend. So you see again. If you can watch this defenseman right here, 27, he looks off the wall ever so slightly and sends it to the middle. And by just looking at that puck going to the wall, that forechecker's stick was to the wall just long enough to open that pass to the middle. It's a great clean exit. Nothing was off the glass. Sometimes defense will panic and they see that forechecker coming at them, and what they'll do is they'll just maybe dump it off here, okay, or just put it off the glass. But that's a great look off right to the middle right away. Okay, another clip here. If you'll notice this goal by Washington, okay, that's 52. That's Mike Green. That's a defenseman. Okay, so he was joined on a 2-on-1. So I'm going to pause the clip right now. You notice 52, Mike Green, the defenseman. He's going back to help retrieve the puck with the goaltender. Okay, he kind of leaves your screen here for a second. Okay, great exit, good chip off the boards, pass pressure, another clean pass, good support. All right, and I'm going to put it back ever so slightly. I'm going to pause it. You'll see these white jerseys. 1, 2, 3 white jerseys. Okay, so Mike Green, about 5 seconds ago, was down in this corner behind everyone, and then all of a sudden he's beat 1, 2, 3, 4 white jerseys up ice and put himself in a position to score a big goal. Okay, so that's a great clip to show defensive activation. Again, you'll see Mike Green right here. He notices, okay, they've got a lot of guys deep. We've got good speed. We've got good support on the wall. And I've beat all those guys up the ice. And now I'm in a position to score a big goal. Okay, so I really suggest that your defensemen get up ice. If you have some defensemen that can really skate and you can beat players up ice, absolutely get them to join the rush, because we can make some big explosive plays like that. Okay, another aspect for offensive team play that I want to focus on is the entries. So we've had good transition. We've activated our defense, and now we want to enter the opposing team's zone. That's where the fun is. We want to score some goals. So a couple of things is when working with minor hockey teams or any team in general, really, you want to encourage gaining the zone by carrying the puck. Okay, so if we can keep the puck on our stick and create good speed and good gaps where we can get in and maintain the puck when crossing the blue line, that's going to give us more success. We want to discourage the dump and chase. One thing I want to distinguish is the difference between a dump and chase and a dump and retrieve, or a chip and retrieve. You'll see some video evidence of this, but I think that the days of the teams just crossing the red line and dumping in without a purpose, basically giving it back to their team, that's essentially a punt as well. You're basically putting it into their zone and right away chasing it. You have no idea where the other team is going to go with it. It's difficult to dictate that by just putting it anywhere. So when you're dumping a puck or chipping a puck, you want to chip it with a purpose, and you want to chip it with a mindset that you're going to get the puck back. So when you're chipping it, you want to retrieve it. So you need to have good support, and you need to dump and chip with a purpose and put it to a good spot. A lot of the times it's putting it away from the goalie, and as you get older, the goalies handle the puck much better, and they're almost like a third defenseman back there helping with the breakout. So if we can put it to an area, maybe a soft chip, right to the corner, in that, to use another football term, in that coffin corner, kind of kill it right there. That's difficult. The goalies usually won't come out for that, and it creates a foot race that we can be first on the puck, and if not first on the puck, we'll meet at the point of contact when the opposition arrives there as well. So when we're entering the zone, there's a few principles that I think are important. You want to outnumber as much as possible. Okay, you want to create width on the attack. What that you mean? You've got lots of ice to use, 80 feet of ice. You want to attack with the width, and also you want speed. There's different tactics that you can use with acceleration and deceleration, but in general, you want to attack with speed and back the defense off as much as possible. Creating a 2-on-1 in all situations is very important. If you're in a 2-on-2, we go back to our principles, and you want to outnumber. If you're in a 2-on-2. Okay, maybe the puck is entering the zone wide. That strong side D is playing that puck carrier. You want your second forward, your support forward, to try to create a 2-on-1. And what that does, it outnumbers the opposition. So maybe he goes right at that strong side D. And what that does also is that weak side D has now a decision to make. Do I stay in the middle of the ice? Do I switch? Do I come over onto that side as well? So forcing the defense to make decisions causes some confusion, it causes some hesitation, and really all you need is maybe a split second of hesitation and it should open a lane up for you. That also applies off 3-on-2s, 4-on-3s, 4-on-2s. If you can simplify and break it down to a 2-on-1 at some point in the ice, you should be able to find some success and get the puck to some good ice and high percentage scoring areas. The next few points is a little bit more systematic than I'd like to be and than I usually am. I like to be a little bit vague in terms of systems, but this is just a system and a framework that I've found success. I know lots of NHL teams use it, and I believe that it gives lots of success on entries. Is when the puck enters the ice, enters the zone wide, the good F2 drive is driving directly off the inside shoulder of the strong side D. So again, when the puck is going wide, strong side D is playing the puck carrier. That second forward is going directly right inside the 2D, as close to that strong side D as possible. And what that does is create a little bit of a 2-on-1 where we can give pass options to the driver or to the puck carrier, and as well as force that inside weak side D to make a decision. That's on, like I said, a 2-on-2, 3-on-2, 4-on-3, whatever it may be. Let's say we get 3 players up in the rush. We have a 3-on-2. I prefer if that third player stays wide outside of the weak side D. That's difficult to defend. Then we can make a read where we are in our attack. If we have 3 players up, maybe that player stays slightly higher and lets the second player drive through and maybe creates a passing lane right in front of the 2D. Maybe a fourth player, maybe a defenseman's up in the attack. Maybe we want to create a triple drive where the outside guy just goes as hard to the net as he can, pushing that weak side D back and creating a pocket of open ice for the fourth player, maybe a draw pass. So it's important that the third player make a read and be in the right position. But I think creating that width, having the third player coming over and creating those attack triangles, they're very popular, and I think there's some validity to them. But I believe that if we create the width on the attack, that's harder to defend than having 3 players on one side. I find that maybe the back checkers might be able to easily catch them. Maybe, I'm not sure exactly, but if we create that width, it makes the defense forced the defense to make decisions, which causes mistakes, I find. So important that the puck carrier take care of his drivers. What I mean by that is that F2 drive, when he's going to the net, he's going hard to the net, and he trusts you to get the puck to a good spot that they can score. So if you turn the puck over on the sideboards, maybe around the ring out line, okay, you've not taken care of him by not putting the puck to a good area. Sometimes the best play is just put it in the feet of the goalie, just put it at the net. That's where rebounds happen, and you've got a player going there hard as he can. Sometimes the best play, if there's no passing options and the defense are taking away the good ice, put it to the net. You can trust that the drivers are going. So really take care of the drivers. It's frustrating as a coach to see a 3-on-2 not end up with a chance or at least a shot on net. And by reinforcing this one simple tactic, I'll show some video evidence of some F2 drives. I believe it opens up numerous options to attack off the rush. And if you can attack off the rush instead of getting in and using up zone time, if you can attack off the rush right away when the team is in back-checking mode and defending mode, then you should be able to find some success and at least get the puck to a high percentage area for some good scoring chances. Okay, these are some clips of the St. Louis Blues. Ken Hitchcock is a big believer of this F2 drive, and you can see, if you can focus on all these 3-on-2 drives, that this player right here in the middle of the ice, he's going to basically drive right off this inside shoulder of the strong side D. The puck enters the zone wide many times, and by him driving through this inside shoulder, this creates the defense have to make a decision on how we defend this. Okay, you can see the options opening up. Okay, there's a wide pass option there, putting the puck to the net, scoring off a rebound. Again, this second player came all the way across the ice to create this little 2-on-1 situation, where regular, if he just kind of went over this way, that 2-on-2, it's a hard pass for it to get through. So that's he's created a good situation for that to get to the net. Okay, those are good examples of chipping and retrieving. That, yeah, the defense did a good job of taking away the gap, but they put it to an area that St. Louis was able to get to first and maintain possession. Okay, again, we've created a 2-on-1. St. Louis has width on the attack. They're outside of that weak side D, and they get a great chance and a little cutback getting to the middle of the ice. And just by that second guy driving through, push the D back enough to create that pocket. Again, by driving through here, it pulls this D inside with the strong side D, and it creates a little lane outside for a grade A chance. Okay, so you saw about maybe 7 or 8 3-on-2 attacks or 4-on-2 attacks, and really there wasn't many of the same plays. So by doing that F2 drive and creating that 2-on-1 on the strong side D, it creates a lot of options where players can attack in different angles and different lanes, whether it's a shot, whether it's an underpass to the driver, whether it's a wide pass to the third player up, or a drop pass to the fourth player, whatever it may be. There's lots of options off that entry just by having that strong F2 drive and pushing that defense back as far as possible. Okay, to look at the chip and retrieve, you saw St. Louis do it a couple times where a D had good gap and they weren't able to make that play. You'll see in this video here, our winger coming up, he gets the red line, he recognizes, okay, I don't have the speed, this D's got good gap, I'll probably get pinched off this blue line. I see good support with me, I see this F2 drive, so I'm going to take care of him and I'm going to put it to an area where we can get it back. So I'm going to chip and retrieve. So it's not a dump and chase, it's not a rim to the goalie, it's not just chasing with their heads cut off as hard as we can to get it back. It's a methodical, purposeful dump that we can put it in and get it back. So you see, it's just a soft chip right to that coffin corner, that I'd like to call it, another football term, where 12 has created good speed. He's pushed them back that he can be first on the puck. Okay, so now without even crossing the blue line with the puck on our stick, we've indirectly gained entry and gained access, and the puck is back on our stick. And right away, we talk about speed on the attack. Okay, we've got a grade A chance right away. Again, you'll see it again. Good dump. We get our head up, right back to the strong side, and we find our third guy coming across for a grade A chance. That's a big play by just putting it to an area that we can get the puck back. If we maybe rimmed it or put it cross corner to the goalie, we might be chasing and they might have a clean exit, and now we're in back checking mode. Where 5 seconds ago, we could have easily just popped it in just like we did and retrieved the puck just like that. Okay, the last aspect of offensive team play that I'd like to cover today, we looked at transition, we looked at activating our defense. We've now entered the zone. So now we want to look at how do we want to play in the offensive zone. In this term, I've gotten quotations here, 5-5-5. There's actually a couple of Mike Babcock references that I'll refer to in this section. This is something that he uses with his team in Detroit, and he's also used with the Olympic teams. That 5-5-5 essentially means that he wants his team to play with 5-person units through all 3 zones. So 5 exit the zone with a unit of 5, come to the neutral zone with speed with a unit of 5, and play on the attack in the offensive zone as a unit of 5. So we want to work as a unit of 5 in all 3 zones, and that's no different as well in the offensive zone. I find at every level of hockey that teams tend to forget to play with 5 in the offensive zone. A lot of time it's just 3 forwards down low, playing a 3 versus 5, or they're maybe cycling for a long time or whatever it may be, but they really forget about their defense, and it all goes back to, again, to activating our defense. So what happens a lot as well is when we think about our practice planning, how much time do we put into practicing our power play? Power play is a 5-on-4 situation. 90% of the game is played at 5-on-5. Yet very a small number of teams actually practice 5-on-5 offensive play. You'll practice offensive play in terms of power play, 5-on-4, where execution is obviously very important and much needed. But I think that teams really need to work in some 5-on-5 offensive play in their practice as well. A couple great ways to help offensively in the zone is to spread the zone out. I mean, you've got a big zone. You don't want to really shrink it down into a corner where you're cycling nonstop. That's what the defending team wants to do. Okay, when you're cycling, it's pretty easy to defend. And we'll get into cycling in a little bit, but if you're able to spread the zone north to south, so maybe you're down low and you send it back to the point, and then east to west, maybe D to D. Okay, you're using all your zone, your acreage you have there. What that does, it gets the D running around a little bit, gets the defensive team running around and at a position. When they get out of position, that's when seams start to open and lanes start to open, and that's when you'll be able to get some grade A chances in high percentage scoring areas. Okay, and this is another Mike Babcock idea that he uses. He uses shoot and get it back mentality. He's got a 55 attack power play philosophy, and that basically means is 5 shots and 5 retrievals on every power play. Okay, I think I would even go as far as maybe even try that even strength as well. It could be difficult to attain as a goal and for some teams and at some levels, but if we're able to get it in our mindset that we want to generate shots, but we also want to generate retrievals that we can stay on the attack. Okay, sometimes we just get a shot and then we don't work to get it back. We just give it to the other team and then say, okay, we had our shot, now you have yours. Okay, you want to put players in areas to make sure that we get the puck, we fight for it back, so keep possession and keep the attack going. One area that's not used a whole lot in the offensive zone is behind the net. That's a great way to, maybe if you're pressured on the wall and you don't have any options, if you put it behind the net, it's almost like a little safety chamber where your forwards can go get it. A lot of players defensively will not go to behind the net to go for the puck. Teams are very uncomfortable when their puck is behind their net. Okay, their backs are to the rest of the zone. They're not sure what's going on behind them. I mean, you look at the best player of all time, Wayne Gretzky. That was his office. He scored a lot of goals in that area. I mean, when he was in New York, he would just sit in his office and tee it up for Brian Leetch coming off the point, because a lot of players obviously have their back turned to the point and they're watching Gretzky behind the net. So that's no different at any level. So that's a good area if you have nothing going on one side of the ice, maybe get it to behind the net and switch the point of attack and get the defense running around a little bit. Again, the more they can run around, that's going to open up the lanes. You want to be a threat in the offensive zone. We want to get pucks and bodies inside the dots and to the net. A lot of times you'll see, again, cycling, non-stop. Player comes up the board, touches to the next player, and so forth. And that's basically, the defense are playing a zone defense where they're basically just keeping everyone into the bad ice. They're not scoring. They're not getting great chances. So you want to find a way to get that puck inside the dot, whether it's maybe passing to the point, maybe it's breaking off the wall through a seam. And if you can get bodies and traffic to the net, then you've got a greater chance to score and find success. Again, teams are uncomfortable at their net. They don't want the puck to be at their net. They're very uncomfortable when bodies are at their net. So if they can keep it away from their net and keep you cycling in the corner, then they feel like they're doing their job. Okay, when you're cycling, both high and low, cycle with a purpose. Okay, you want to force switches and create confusion, and that confusion creates miscommunication. What I mean by force switch, this is a great term, because if you can do a small area pass on a cycle, and the player that was covering you maybe feels like he has to then switch off to take to the next player, there's some miscommunication amongst the defensive players that forcing these switches, it causes miscommunication and hesitation. And like I said before, any hesitation, maybe it's a split second, it just has to open up a lane to get a puck through and onto a stick and in the net. So if you can force switches, again, I have a video of a good clip of the Minnesota Wild doing it, where they make one purposeful chip on a cycle, and the two defensive players kind of look away and they're not exactly sure what to do, and it opens up a great chance. Now going back to practice, Again, I don't want to be too systematic with this stuff, but if you're able to create a framework with simple set options for your players, it gives the players familiarity when reacting to the play. Maybe they cycle once and nothing's there. Maybe you want to work within the framework to send it to the point, spread the zone, go D to D, and right away funnel the puck to the net. And what that does, basically, it lets the players down low. As soon as that puck goes to the point, they know the puck is getting to the net or the puck is getting behind the net. So that's the forwards know right away to get to the net and create traffic. So other frameworks maybe work on low cycles, work on high cycles. Some plays with the defense that I'll be able to show you. But if you give them some simple framework options where maybe it's a cycle one-touch shot or a cycle D to D shot, that gives the players familiarity in the game when they see, okay, this is how the defense is playing. The point is open. I'm going to send it to the point. Maybe the point is not open. Maybe there's something in the middle that's open for me for a forward. So you want to create good support and good shooting lanes and threats all over the ice in the offensive zone. And really important to play as a unit of 5. You'll see this video here. This is Chris Letang, obviously a very skilled defenseman. He sees, okay, the puck is at the point. Sometimes the D safe play is just get it to the net or get it behind the net, which is, again, a great play. But this goes back to our discussion about defense activation. Be confident and creative with the puck, because you'll see him here looking off and spinning right down and creating a great chance backdoor. Okay, if I go back again, looking at deception, okay, he's deceiving this forward that he may be passing to the middle or throwing it to the middle, and he gets this guy on this side. His stick is on this side now, so he's taking away that pass, and that's opened up a little area where he can get underneath right this way here. So that's a great skill to use your defenseman in your 5-man unit and looking to score goals. Okay, the next video, okay, with the Anaheim Ducks. Okay, the puck is in the corner. Okay, Colorado, you'll see they're just trying to punt the puck. That's a no-look rim. Okay, and it's back on the stick of the Anaheim defense. Okay, they spread the zone. You'll see how wide that pass is, and what that's done is created a great big pocket of ice right in the middle. So you can see this winger and this winger going all the way out. This forward here is smart enough to get up in that pocket. Okay, and we've created a great chance by spreading the zone. Okay, you'll see it again. That one pass opens up a huge pocket of right in the middle of the ice. Good support by the forward. And a great chance and a finish. Okay, this play here, you'll notice that, okay, the St. Louis defenseman has the puck on his stick. He's a left-hand shot playing his offside. So what this player done has recognized, I'm going to keep him on his backhand and I'm going to not let him pass across. So I'm going to keep him on this side. So he recognizes I don't have a pass option here. I don't have a real good pass option here because there's good coverage, so I need to send it maybe behind the net. Okay, so what he does, he sends it behind the net right away. These two forwards are low, Oshie, and now Columbus is in desperation mode because the puck is behind their net. Okay, there's good support. They put 2 players around the puck, and you'll see here. Okay, all of a sudden, 5 seconds ago, that puck was up at the point, and they had great coverage. Now there's a great A chance on top of the crease. And you'll see here, it's a great play down low, and they forced a switch. So essentially this is a 2-on-2 battle. And by one switch, turning off good purposeful chips and cycles, now St. Louis has drawn 2 players to 1, and this player is wide open on top of the crease. And that goalie makes a big save in a desperation moment. So that all started with putting the puck behind the net. The little safety chamber back there can really create a lot of options offensively. Okay, we're talking about purposeful chips and purposeful cycles. You'll see here Minnesota makes 1 chip, a little turn back, and that's a great A chance from the high slot. Okay, so essentially, again, it's a small area 2-on-2, which is which is basically what hockey is, defensively and offensively. It comes down to a 2-on-2 game for the most part. You'll see here that this player didn't just chip it back because a lot of that would allow this guy to get on him quick. Okay, he turned back and made the defense. Okay, what do I do now? And you'll see right now, this player told him, and they backed right off, and it gave them room to make a play. So he's got his head up. He makes a play. Makes a good pass into that slot for a big chance. Okay, you'll see again, I'll let it go this time. right away when they make the decision, okay, I don't know where to go, I fall back, that's going to open up a lane. So you see the defenseman kind of tell the winger where to go. They've opened up a lane on a good cutback and a good cycle. This play here, we talk about more cycles, is high cycles. A great way to confuse defense is actually, when put it this way, when in a D-zone coverage, coaches try to simplify as much as possible and say, let's play the 3-on-3 down low, wingers stay on your points, okay? Clifford here has his point man, this guy's got his point man, and Doughty's going to play the puck. If you can activate your defense to come down the wall, or whether come down the backside and put more players in positions to score, it confuses the defense. So you see the puck coming up the wall, that defense has cycled in behind them, and they've made a great play to confuse the defense, and now the puck's at the net, and now it's at the crease. Okay, so that's an uncomfortable area for the defense to make. So notice again, okay, Doughty, arguably the best defenseman in the NHL, is coming up the wall, and by that one high cycle, the puck has gotten to the crease, and the farthest LA King away from that crease is Drew Doughty. Probably the guy they want him in the crease more so than anyone. So by that one high cycle, they've created confusion and switches that they've created a chance in tight in a zone where they can have a good chance to score a goal. So those are just kind of the four main aspects of offensive team play that I think teams can really work on it and create some success for them in terms of offensively. And again, I go back to the skill development where the best defense is a good offense and having a puck on your stick, but you really need to work on the skills to possess good puck skills. It could be stick handling, proper hand placement, having the abilities to make good passes. Sometimes the easy pass to make is that cross ice pass with no one in the middle, but the hardest pass to make is sometimes that little 2-foot backhand pass under the defenseman's stick. So those are good little skills that you need to really build the base in order for these tactics to work. Tight turns on cycles, touch passes again, D to D, good passing, you know the angles, good head up shooting for defense. So I can go on and on about the skills, but it's really important to keep working on skill bases, and that will hopefully make players a little more comfortable when it turns into tactics, and then you can start building frameworks and systems into those. So I wanted to show a couple drills that I think could work well with each aspect. The first one I want to show is this breakout 2-on-0. This is a great drill for working on transition. You'll have the forwards going to go to both ends. The forwards are all in the center circle, and the defense will be in opposite corners with the puck. On the whistle, this D is going to carry the puck. A little bit of overspeed training too. Pivot, backpedal, and then pivot again to wheel the net. These first forwards, basically what they're doing is simulating coming back into defensive zone coverage, minus the low forward. Okay, so the first guy, he's going to come right back to the slot area. Second guy is going to come right back to the point area. Okay, have their feet turned to the puck. They see the play. As soon as that D starts to wheel the net, boom, they've got to anticipate, okay, I'm in the breakout mode now. So this player is going to get nice and low, open up. This player is going to come on a good angle for support. Could be a chip or direct pass, could be a chip, and it's going to be a 2-on-0 shot. What the D does will then follow up. You could have the forwards maybe cycle one pass and then pass the D for a shot. You could have the far defense line maybe pass it to our coach. And that D right away, as soon as he gets the puck, 2 or 3 steps right inside the dots, shot at net with 2 forwards in the screen and tipping position. Okay, so what that works on is good transition and anticipation for those forwards. Okay, I'm in defensive zone coverage. I've got the D working his feet. Boom, possession is made. He's wheeling the net, needs an option. I've got to get over there, anticipate quick, and then this player's going to come through for support. So that's a great little drill for transition. Moving on to this one, this is a good drill for defense activation. Again, it also works on a good first pass, so it's a good skill to have. Defense would be on opposite blues, forwards are on opposite blues, and then the coaches will be in opposite corners with the pucks. On the whistle, both ends are going to go at the same time. On the whistle, what's going to happen is this D is going to start out backwards. He's going to do a good hard power leg push, get 2 or 3 good back pedals, just like a player dumped it in. He's going to go back and retrieve a puck. He's going to get his head up, see where his options are, shoulder check. This forward's going to come nice and low. He's going to come around, make a good pass. And then instead of just watching that pass and admiring, I'd like that D right away, get to the middle, be an option. Because sometimes maybe if that centerman's coming through with good back pressure, that pass won't get through. We need to pass it to the defenseman coming up ice. So as soon as he makes that pass, activate, get to offense, get in a position. Boom, you're going to be the first guy up the ice. This forward's job is now to get hard onto the puck and hard up the ice. I've got it drawn out that this D can delay and make a pass. You can also do, maybe they stop, maybe they get a shot and retrieve, but I've got it out where they delay, they hit the forward coming late for shot number one, the forward then curls, so this D stays at the blue line, make a pass, again, get inside the dots, threaten with a shot with a traffic and a tipper. So that's a great drill for get the Ds used to coming up, because sometimes D are uncomfortable coming up the ice with the puck, leading the attack. Some D love it, but for the most part, D are very comfortable with letting the play happen in front of them. They want to see what's going on. When the D lead the rush and everything's going around them, that's when they get uncomfortable. So if they can get a little more comfortable with getting the puck in the defensive zone and leading the rush, this is a great drill. You'll find some good success with your defensemen. We talk about entries. Okay, this drill here, this is a 3-on-0 wide drive. It actually started, the first progression of this would be probably a 2-on-0, which I showed you back in a video blog about support. This is one where it would be 2-on-0 with the player coming across, this player coming straight up the ice like he does with a puck. This player's got to get across and support, so they enter the zone with two players coming wide. Instead of coming like this all the way through, where those passes you're not in good support areas, you got to come nice and low and good support. So that's a 2-0. So what we've done is we've dropped the D back drop the D back to the bottom of the circles, and on the whistle it'll go. You could go both ends at the same time if you really watch out, but it really has its effectiveness when it's done at one end. This player's going to come across, good support, good first pass. Players coming up the wall right away. Let's get the puck wide. So this player now has to get nice and close to the puck carrier. There's no defense. I mean, if you really want, you can add maybe a coach in to provide some pressure. And this D recognizes that he's the third man in the attack. He doesn't want to come up and cross that triangle. He wants to get nice and wide, and that what that pass is going to get through wide, right off the heels, basically, of that net drive, that F2 drive. So this is a good way to really hammer home the routes that you want your players to run and the responsibilities. Okay, first player, puck carrier goes wide. Second player, drive off that shoulder right through to close to the puck carrier, just inside the dots, just inside that strong shoulder. And then third player up ice, most time it could be a forward, but now it's a defense, getting up ice and activating our entries to get that pass wide. Okay, other options you could look at is maybe shot with two guys driving. You could look at a little underpass, which is a pass essentially right to here, a little pass to the middle guy. Or you could look at maybe a cutback, have two guys cut, drive the net, and this player just cuts to the middle, gets a shot inside the dots. So there's lots of options you can do off that. But what it does, it really hammers home the routes and responsibilities of a skeleton entry, essentially. And the last one here, I know I've done this game with many teams, and I've showed it on my small area games presentation. This is a great little drill to work on some offensive zone frameworks. Okay, it's a 2-on-2 small area game. The nets are facing up ice, dot width, both on the goal line. 2-on-2 in zone. You can make it a 3-on-3 if numbers dictate. That's fine. But the rule is that these players can't shoot the puck. What they have to do is they got to get the puck, maintain possession, and they've got to pass it back to their team. So if the X's are trying to score in this net, the X's have to get the puck, pass it back to their line, and this is the first player in line is the only player that's allowed to shoot. So essentially it's like passing to the point. So these players, instead of just watching, they've got to get to the net and create traffic. Great for defensive efforts too, because these players now have to box out and pick up sticks and be strong at the net. But offensively, it's great because I like to, for teams that have the ability and really to get challenges, instead of passing it back to the point first, I like to make these players make one pass amongst each other first. So let's play. They get the puck. This player gets the puck. This player's got to get open, and they've got to make a little small area short pass, and then they can pass to the team and get to the net. But what it does, it gives a great framework to battle for the puck, get the puck back, make one pass into a good short area, maybe force a switch, and then get the puck to the point and then get to the net. So that's a good drill for players to really to work on offensive zone play, and that can lead into maybe some 5-on-5 stuff where it's where defense on offense. Okay, so thanks everyone for watching. I'm hoping that you're able to take a few things away from this, maybe some drills or some skill development stuff that you can use in your practice. But like I said, don't be afraid to try something different. Try some 5-on-5 stuff, 5-man offensive unit stuff in practice. Don't be afraid to tell your defense, get your head up, and if the first pass is to the front of the net, so be it. So many coaches are afraid to tell their players to pass to the middle. And you know what? You might get burned from time to time, but I think it's part of the process, and I think the end result is a better developed player with more confidence and poise. So don't be afraid to get that. Be a pass-first team. Really discourage the dump outs and the punts. Enter with purpose, and then in the offensive zone, really have a purpose and a framework to work within, trying to score goals. I think if you can bring everything together as a five-person unit on offense, like I said many times in the presentation, a good defense is a good offense. So make sure that everyone's on the same page and trying to possess the puck and create defense and create offense that way. So thanks for watching. I hope to see everyone around the rink again soon, and best of luck down the home stretch of the season. It's February already, so any teams that are in big tournaments or provincial playdowns, best of luck, and we'll be cheering for you all. Take care.